Thank you, Adam. It's nice to see you all, old friends and new friends. It's nice to see that you are all safe and healthy. And I certainly hope that we will continue to stay healthy and emerge victorious out of this ordeal. Thank you for participating in this event organized by BSUN and our friends in Romania. It's certainly a difficult act to follow, especially after Mr. Damodaran. I'm trying to decide whether I should feel more optimistic or pessimistic. You see, when I or people in general listen to world visionaries or world thinkers like you people, we tend to think that we can overcome adversity, even a pandemic, or a global economic depression. And then you listen to all of those populist guys. Some of them are in charge of large countries, blaming the pandemic to sometimes invisible causes, or waiting for a miracle to happen and save us all, or asking for trust to the leadership, to their leadership, or hoping that the cure will come to tomorrow and with no real effort. Jeffrey said that there's a war on knowledge going on these days. And again, I'm trying to decide whether it's a triumph of science or business as usual, where we use science whenever we need it, wherever we're threatened. We use experts, we use universities and research centers whenever we feel threatened or we need a solution. And then we set them aside and we proclaim that we could be politicians, could be the leader of the day, or the person in charge of a certain sect or church, that they know better, and they don't need, they don't believe in vaccines, they don't believe in scientific solutions, they don't believe in research. Universities in this situation, in this tragedy, they rose to the occasion, and they acted in many different ways. They almost invariably around the world, they switched to almost overnight into distant learning and e-learning techniques. They managed to continue serving their audience, the students, and maintaining a more or less decent educational process. And they also opened their laboratories, their hospitals, their expertise. They offered their people to the world and to the societies, to their either national or global societies, in an effort to find solutions, scientific solutions. True, we're faced with challenges. For example, the upcoming exam period. We're not sure whether technology is going to come to the rescue, but we increased the mode of collaboration and cooperation, and the exchange of information and knowledge. I don't know how it is in your countries. We tend to think that whatever happens in our country happens everywhere in the world, but in Greece there is a renewed authority of academic institutions, a renewed trust in university professors. There's no news report without a university professor commenting on the medical aspect, the social aspect, the economic aspect of the pandemic. And people listen more closely. I don't know how long this is going to continue. Perhaps when the risk of illness will diminish, and people will revert back to their old ways of dismissing science, dismissing knowledge, and trusting an eloquent politician. We'll see. Universities out of this new way of delivering knowledge, widespread e-learning techniques, are faced with new risks and new opportunities. They have educated almost instantaneously their personnel, their professors, and their students into distance learning. So maybe the form of education, of future education, is going to be more like blended learning rather than the traditional in-class, in the auditorium learning. That will give us the opportunity to access wider audiences, but and increase synergies and mobility. I mean, European universities will be easier to form, and students will be more keen on taking classes from different universities, different programs of study. This is also a risk. It's a risk for low quality or lower quality, weaker universities that may lose their students to better universities. Or there's a risk of reduced quality overall, because what we do in the classroom is not so easily done remotely over a screen and a Zoom meeting. There is also a risk for certain parts of the world where private universities need student income, support, financial support by the students, by tuition, to survive. We don't know, for example, what the situation of American universities is going to be in the future. I have two children. They're both graduate students in the US, and one of them is locked out of his laboratory for 2 months, and the other one feels miserable staying at home and doing all the work by herself. She doesn't want to continue this experience for much longer. So triumph of science, war on knowledge. It's difficult to tell. It's difficult to tell. I'm generally an optimistic person, so I'd like to think that things will get better. I used to, in conversations with friends, used to state that the world today is at its best state that it ever was, and it's going to get better. It only will get better. Now I'm not so sure. Collaboration, cooperation, belief in science and democratic processes is the way out. We believe that. Are we enough in this world? I don't know. Is there enough of us in this world to make this happen? We'll see. If 40%, as Jeffrey Sachs said, of the Republicans believe what they believe, that's too many. There's too many of them. So I'm not so optimistic from that point, that perspective. But perhaps I'll have to pass the floor to the next speaker and continue the discussion on universities. Thank you very much.